I'm joined with Tara Christie from Banyan Gold here at the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit 2024. Tara, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So Tara, let's start off with the big talk here that I think you're having all these meetings this week. You're sitting down, you're chatting with companies, and by the way, we're talking about this pre-interview. 7 million ounces, $47 million market cap. It's $17-18 million in the bank. But you guys are in the Yukon. There's obviously been a story that wasn't that great that happened in the Yukon this year with Victoria Gold's Eagle Gold Mine. What can you tell us from your perspective when you're chatting with investors to give them some comfort that now is a good time to invest in the Yukon?
Well, we've certainly seen a lot of the drama kind of calm down. Things have quietened, and I think we're starting to see our stock price, along with others in the jurisdiction, improve. Why is that? Well, we're hearing some really positive messages from the government and even some from the First Nation and other First Nations in the Yukon. The Premier has said that he supports mining. The government has said that they want to see the Eagle mine go back into production, which means that that's a heap leach mine. If they want it back into production, there will be a heap leach again in the Yukon. That's a logical extension. The First Nation, obviously has been a pretty emotionally driven, some of the comments, but they've also made comments about being supportive of mining and understanding how important it is in the Yukon. So, time, I think, is already starting to see more positive news in people as, the environmental issues seem to have lessened. That's certainly been important for us to be able to tell the story that there's going to be mines in the Yukon. There was another First Nation in the adjacent traditional territory where Coffee's mine, their Newmont's Coffee mine is, and they've been very clear that they support Coffee's proposal, which is a heap leach mine, and they support heap leach mining. So, yep, there's been a lot of media, and when that media kind of gets really far, it takes a long time for the positive messages to get back out.
Okay, so let's talk about Banyan Gold. As I said during the sort of first question, we were looking at a pretty sizable resource here and a pretty tiny valuation. Mm-hmm. What can you tell our audience about the company's asset package and the overall overview of the company?
Well, I think we've got a really exciting asset. There are not very many 7 million ounces. We're the 7th largest undeveloped resource in North America. We have existing roads, existing power. We have 2 mines beside us. Somebody will buy Victoria Gold and put it back into production. The government's already said they're very open to that. The other thing that's a bit of an overhang for us is Victoria Gold owns 11% of our stock. The government has clearly said that they are not selling Victoria Gold's assets, and the receivers told me that as well. And so I think it's been a bit of a market overhang, but I think I'm well experienced in having to do block trades. I had another corporate that had to sell their block of stock. I'm in communication with the receiver, and if they've already got a buyer and the government's already said that they're talking to buyers, that could be really positive for me. I could have another 11% deep-pocketed shareholder. So our project, there's not very many projects like it, not only the scale of the resource and that fabulous infrastructure. The work we're doing this year, we've already drilled 16,000 meters. We'll drill 18,000 before we finish the year. That 7 million ounces, we're focusing on converting what we think will be the first 10 years of mining into indicated. Improving the confidence in our block model is something that we heard from corporates and others that they wanted to see. I think people can see with 7 million ounces, the sections are open, that there's a potential for 7 million or 10 million ounces on surface, like within that 200 meters, which is the resource. And then there's we've drilled a deep hole down to 650 meters and encountered mineralization all the way down, and we ended in mineralization. And we didn't necessarily drill in the highest grade area, but that shows that there's deep roots to this project. So, that's the kind of asset that people are looking for that want to make an investment in a jurisdiction for a very long time period. Maybe you base it on a 10 or a 15-year mine life, but when you've got that scale of resource, that's infrastructure that's going to be put in. We're working on the metallurgy. We've got really strong recoveries from almost 91 to 93% on CIL, 86, 87 on gravity flotation. We've really advanced that, and we've looked at, with our scoping studies, what the economics would be, and we focused our metallurgy work this year not only on recoveries but also on operating costs and capital costs. So we're going to have strong news flow this year. We just put out one set of results. We'll have results through April, a new resource in May, June, towards our PEA in 2025, and we're funded to start drilling again next summer. So we'll have strong news flow from those drilling, which we're going to target looking for the intrusion and expanding the resource next year after the PEA, so that we'll have news flow into 2026.
So I'm hearing a lot of drilling, and you guys already have a huge resource. What needs to happen for you guys to move more steps towards production?
Well, this PEA is a first big step. And so, we've put a lot of effort into it, making sure we've got the right technical expertise helping us both on the geology side as well as on the engineering and the metallurgy side. So that's a key step. Permitting side is also important. We've done the baseline environmental to start permitting already. We picked up the pieces that we were needed a little bit more on this summer, which puts us in a really unique spot. Most juniors just get a really big resource and then a company comes in and buys them and they discover that none of that work's been done. We have the advantage of having two mines beside us, which we were able to get all the data from and then do our own additions of what was missing, which means we've got millions of dollars in years of data that other companies would have to acquire themselves. So I think we're doing everything to de-risk it and advance it. Meanwhile, you need to have some news flow with drilling to show people that there's more opportunity beyond that. But we're really good stewards of our treasury. You'll also notice we have income. We've made $1.5 million this year, making about $200,000 a month. We do anticipate making income again in next year as well.
Where's the income coming from?
From our rentals. We also get some interest on our cash, which is actually pretty decent rate right now. So.
Okay. So if I am an investor watching and I'm going, okay, I think that the market has punished the Yukon names too much. This is just deep value. I love the risk reward here. What am I watching out for over the next year in terms of news flow?
Well, from us, watching for those drill resorts leading up to the PEA. Lots of companies see share price appreciation as they lead up to their PEA and people get to understand that this is an economic project. I think people know there's lots of people looking at the Yukon. There's currently lots of people looking at the coffee project that Newmont has for sale. Those corporate development teams will be looking for other things after there's only one successful bidder. So there's our own news flow, which we have a very clear value creation strategy. And I think our shareholders know that we're good stewards of our capital. So we've got a clear vision of what the steps we're going to do and continuous news flow to make sure that we're adding value. And then there's all the external things, which I think will be positive. Things kept becoming better at Victoria Gold. The government talking about what the sale process is, who the buyers might be, potentially seeing some movement on that, seeing more people interested in the Yukon and the corporate side. This conference has been a really good indicator of there's more interest. Corporates used to come in and kind of be a little disinterested, wanted the updates. This year, people know the story. They've done their own homework. They have questions. They're coming in. Really different attitude this year to previous years.
Especially, I imagine, with Snowline, it must have been like, okay, now there's a lot more interest in our area, and then.
Well, and these intrusion-related deposits, and that's another key thing for us is, we haven't found our intrusion like Snowline has. We're an intrusion-related deposit, but we're above or around our intrusion. And some of the work we're doing this year, we're doing a ZTEM survey, which looks into the earth and helps you find, specifically good for finding intrusions. We've done a 3D geophysical inversion, which was going to help us target both near and more surface mineralization. We've been working on the mineralogy and the high temperature minerals to find heat flow directions, which might guide us to where that intrusion is. So, that really is some exciting upside, and we're doing the science to support the drilling that we'll do for that next year.
Well, Tara, thanks very much for hopping on here. I think you guys are, like I said, certainly a name for deep value investors that think it's going to turn around. You have to be on their watch list. There's not too many deposits that have 7 million ounces and market cap under $100 million. So I really appreciate you taking the time to hop on here. And hopefully as the drill results come in, we can chat in the future and we can break those down.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time. It's been fun.
Thanks, Tara.